next time, you'll see me next month. Hold me to that. Next month, at least, there will be a new video.
So that was a fucking lie.
Okay, so basically, I think Jax is an NPC. And by the end of this video, I think you will too.
She don't wanna talk about it, but I really wanna know. Settle down, no 5-year plans, no rules, no place to go.
So, in the Amazing Digital Circus, you know what that is, you clicked on the video, you know ball. There are humans and there are NPCs, non-playable characters. The humans are people from the real world that came into the circus via the headset or whatever the fuck, while non-playable characters originate from the system itself. They're not real, just fictional characters and AI made to fit the role they were programmed to play. Now, already, that should sound familiar.
I see how far I can push things. I screw with people, and I break the fourth wall. I do everything because it's funny. Because I'm the funny one.
Now, this could be, and probably is, him masking and putting on this persona. And I want to make this clear at the very beginning. If he is an NPC, I do not think that devalues his character or his emotions or his feelings at all. But he really does describe himself like an NPC. Not only that, there are also some strange details centered around his character and his behavior as a whole that you see throughout the entire show. But I'm getting ahead of myself. There's two different versions I have with this theory. First, let's explore the idea that Jax has been an NPC all along, from the very beginning. I want to ask you something. You remember Gummy Goo, right? You remember how he had an entire backstory with memories implanted in his mind? Let's say Gummy Goo instead was spawned into the circus and was given false memories about his real life in the real world as a human, and he just acted accordingly. Would you be able to tell the difference? Genuinely, do you think there'd be a major difference between him and all the others? Personally, I sure as fuck wouldn't be able to tell. And that fact alone opens up the possibility for any of the main cast to actually be NPCs. But if that's the case, why am I singling out Jax? Because of Kane.
Yeah, it was gonna take you to Shrimp Town.
Now, obviously not just because of Kane, but the whole reason I started thinking like this in the first place was because of how he's treating Jax. Just the way him and Kane interact in general. More often than not, Jax will engage with Kane's adventures, will actually interact with them and build upon them. And the only people who address the audience specifically are Jax and Kane. And Bubble, I think. He's weird. I don't even want to, like, how the fuck do you even analyze this thing? And this almost makes them seem like they're in cahoots or something's going on there. They're linked in some way. And if Jax was an NPC created by Kane, then that's exactly what they'd be. Like, consciously or not, Jax would want to go on adventures made by Kane because Kane made him to do that. Made him violent, made him sadistic, made him mischievous, made him the funny one. Except, as we've seen, Kane doesn't really get why jokes are funny or why things are funny. He just knows certain people laugh at certain things. So it would make sense if he created Jax as the funny one, not really knowing what funny is, and then he ends up being this weird little guy that just fucks with everybody. And not only that, the only reason the big revelation at the end of episode 7 happened was because Kane messes with his mind a lot more than the others, and a lot more in the open. For some reason with Jax, he's okay with breaking that rule that he made for himself. And in episode 7 specifically, he says something very interesting.
Hey, Kane, you around?
Hey, Jax, I didn't know you could ask if I was around like that. Good job.
Okay, now listen, I might be insane and stretching, but does that wording not feel weird to you? I didn't know you could do that. I don't know. I very well could be reaching here, but the wording just seems so weird and strange to me. Specifically, could. The word could. It implies that he's surprised that Jax could do it at all, which is weird because if he's supposedly a human, of course he could. And then it's followed up by a good job and a pat on the shoulder. It feels like how you'd speak to your child. And if Jax was an NPC made by Kane, come on now, you see what I'm saying? But either way, like I said, I have a bunch of reasons. So let me move on to one that's kind of glaring.
Where's my tail? How long have I not had my tail?
In episode 5, my personal favorite so far, we learned that Jax had a tail. But since the beginning of the show, he hasn't had that tail. And this is very quickly glossed over and just moved past, but Jax has a moment of pure befuddlement at learning it was just gone. And then the next episode, it was just back, with no explanation at all. That is weird. It felt like when an animator makes a continuity error in a TV show or anime, except it's actually pointed out by the characters and is something being used to further the plot. Like as if Kane made him from memory and just forgot that he had a tail. And that moment has still not been explained, and I doubt they would put that much focus on it just for it to mean nothing. Again, very weird and very specific to Jax. Reason number 3.
And Zubul turned straight.
My limbs straighten up and f*** off.
This one's a little bit more anecdotal, but I feel like it helps paint a picture of what I'm trying to say here. He refuses to show what it looks like when he holds his breath. And yeah, maybe he's doing his normal thing where he just doesn't want to be vulnerable because he's baby, but literally none of the other casts know what it is either. Apparently he's never let it slip even once. So what if he just simply doesn't have one because he's not like them? Again, anecdotal, but I feel like the fact they refuse to show what his is significant in some way. Next reason.
What do you, the viewers, think it is?
He breaks the fourth wall constantly, which could be, and often is, played off as a joke, but it just feels a little bit off. And the camera always points to him when he's doing this. Never has he addressed Giannis and not been looking directly at us. You'd think if this was simply just a running gag, they'd subvert it by showing Jax pointing at nothing and speaking at nothing. And they kind of did, but they also didn't. Because while Jax is speaking to us, he's looking at us. Always. Every single time. And I don't know if Jax is actually aware people are watching him. The implication is he's just being zany and playing up the bit, leaning into his role, so to speak. But this bit is actually just right. It's actually just the truth. And that leads me to my next reason. He's always right. Now this is big. If you go back, every single statement he makes is either completely true or true in some way. I always suspected Jax had some kind of awareness or intuition that the other cast didn't have, just from the constant fourth wall breaks. But episode 7 really started to make me think about it in a deeper way. This scene specifically.
I was right? I can't believe I was right!
When I saw this, I was like, yeah, he was right. He's right about a lot of things. Wait a minute.
How is Kaufmo doing?
Oh, he's doing great. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him this happy before. Kane's not gonna do anything malicious. It's not in his nature.
Come on, guys! You know I'm just here to have fun.
Guess it just goes to show you can't rely on Kinger for anything.
Yeah, when he uses it responsibly.
I couldn't help but hate myself for the things I thought I was responsible for.
Have I ever told you how it's my dream to get eaten by you? Time for me to serve my purpose, I guess. All we are now is a bunch of cartoon characters. There's nothing more to me.
How do I, leave?
You can't.
Shut up, Jax. But yeah, he's right.
This on top of the fact that Gooseworks, the creator of the show, said to Michael Kovac, anything you say as Jax is canon. And you gotta wonder again, why Jax specifically? Well, realistically and sanely, you could just be like, oh, well, Jax is Gooseworks is her favorite, and she knows the fans love him. But people love all the members of the Amazing Digital Circus. A lot of the other voice actors have their own online personalities. Why not give that stipulation to all of them? No, just Jax. And just going based off of how Gooseworks operates as a creator, this feels like a hint hidden in plain sight. In the same way, whatever Michael says as Jax is canon. Anything Jax says in the show is true. Now, this line of thought runs into a small problem because when he was having his big crash out, he said, oh, he doesn't care about anyone in the circus and that he's there to just take joy and make people suffer. There are 3 different ways this could still fit into the rule of him always being right. 1, it doesn't work when he's obviously lying because the fact he's crashing out so hard to begin with betrays his words. He obviously cares a lot. Whether those feelings are positive or negative, they exist. And that is very apparent and clear to see. Ergo, he's obviously lying. 2, he's telling the truth, but he doesn't know that he is. Maybe when he was created, these were aspects about his character hardwired in. So technically, he's telling the truth, but he's learning and growing past those traits. And that's why he's having such a meltdown. He can't handle his persona literally being broken down. Or 3, the most fucked up, he is telling the truth. He knows he's telling the truth. He just wishes he wasn't. And just like Abel, he's just an NPC that's playing a part. Acting, if you will.
His acting is phenomenal. It's hard to believe he's vegan.
Something about Jax is he's always been guarded on personal subjects, but this would shine a whole new light onto why. Especially why when the past is being brought up and everybody around him seems to be sharing, he can't do it. It's kind of shown as this more like angsty, no kind of attitude, but like, what if the reason behind it is deeper than that? What if it's not just angst? What if he genuinely can't interact on a deeper level, on a human level? What if, once again, he's right when he says stuff like this?
There's nothing more to me. So please, just stop looking.
And one more thing, I am almost 100% convinced that Kane is responsible for abstraction in some way. And I also think that when people abstract, Kane uses their information and their data and repurposes it to make new AI or maybe new characters. I don't know. That's another video that I could cook with that. But anyway, when people abstract and when he absorbs them, it's almost as if he's eating them. And there have been allusions to that with Kaufmo's painting, and guess what? Jack saying this.
Have I ever told you how it's my dream to get eaten by you?
That's a weird thing to say and want.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see it? Now again, this is mostly still just speculation and thought experiments. So when thinking of theories like this, I like to look at it from multiple angles. So now, let's explore the idea that he wasn't an NPC from the beginning, but he's becoming one. Jax's entire philosophy and way of coping with the reality that is the digital circus is to pretty much act like nothing matters and he's just a cartoon character. An NPC, meant to fulfill his role in the group and nothing else. And in fact, he dislikes it when he starts slipping and acting like a real person with depth and emotion. But whatever, just because he acts like an NPC doesn't mean he'll become one, right? Let me introduce you to the belief theory. Hello, Mario. This guy named Fortsy made a video about it if you want a more detailed explanation, but the simplified idea is that in the digital circus, what you believe to be true comes to be. We've seen examples of this throughout the entire show, but the gun episode specifically really hammered it in, with characters doing shit like this.
I got just the thing. Here, take this.
No, wait! That's actual bullshit.
Now, I've kind of had the same thoughts about the circus before even watching this video, so when I saw it, I was pretty stoked. I was like, oh my god, yes, dude. Somebody else sees what I'm seeing. I'm not crazy. And while I did like the video, the logic was followed down a different path than the direction I'd go with it. To me, when I'm thinking of the digital circus in the context of this belief system, I'm like, okay, if we're following this framework, what do you think would happen to a human who started to act like, and more importantly, believe they're nothing but a cartoon character?
Whether we like it or not, all we are now is a bunch of cartoon characters. So what's the point of pretending we're not?
We're still people, though, right?
I thought we were at first, but as time goes on, we just end up falling into our archetypes, become part of the machine.
What's your archetype, then?
I should start talking with like a repetitive cadence, because that's like all the videos I see on essays. Jax uses this masking behavior to cope, and a lot of the time, when you're using a line of logic to cope for an extended amount of time, you start to truly believe it yourself. But genuinely though, you start to get lost so much in the mask that you can't really tell what the real you and the fake you is, and they start to kind of mesh together. So following the logic of belief theory, that human would be classified as an NPC while acting like an NPC. And if you do that all the time, then slowly but surely, maybe the system will overwrite your human code for NPC. Take a shot every time I say NPC, by the way, and then finish this video when you wake up in the hospital. And it would kind of be like a feedback loop where you fall deeper and deeper into this line of thinking while also literally becoming what you're thinking. And I think at its core, that's what ultimately leads to abstraction. Because your human mind or code or whatever is being so inundated with all these NPC aspects, you start to lose yourself. Kane modifying the humans' minds is in a way trying to turn them into NPCs, trying to make them adhere to his will. And here's the thing, Kane alters his mind more than anybody else. Let's think about it. Why does he do that? Well, maybe it's a meta reason, and it's the rule of funny. I mean, that could definitely be argued for the second time, because that shit was funny as fuck. Like, that had me cracking up. Like, just the way he creeps into the frame and he grabs Jax's head with both, he clasps onto his head. But that can't be said for the first time we see it. Like, yeah, at first Jax being turned vegan is played off as a gag, but then Jax says this.
Hold the egg white, since I'm a vegan. What? I hate this! How is this even possible? I thought Kane couldn't...
That's not presented as a joke. that's just a serious moment of contemplation from Jack. And it makes it even more worrying that the second time it happens, it's even more direct and dwelled on even less than the first time. At least the first time, the humans voted on it. But now here, Kane is brazenly just doing it in front of everybody. He's being normalized, and he's being normalized because of Jax. The way he's acting, every time he skips normal human activities, every time he wears a smile and breaks the fourth wall, preaches about nothing mattering, acting like nothing matters, Kane sees that. He sees everything. And Kane is not a human. He does not think like a human. He tries to accommodate, but he clearly doesn't understand the intricacies of human emotion on a deeper level. So when he sees Jax acting that way, that's all he's going to see. He's not going to think deeper on it. And we already know that he doesn't have a way to tell the difference between AI and human. So is it too far-fetched to say that eventually he'd forget Jax is a human at all? I don't think so. And if Jax keeps acting like an NPC, Kane will modify his mind more and more and push him further and further to abstraction, because he's becoming exactly that, an NPC. Okay, now those are the two versions I have of this theory, and I think both of them have merit, but what if I told you, in a way, they could both be true? What if Jax has been an NPC from the very beginning? Because they've all been NPCs from the very beginning. I've had this theory rolling around in my head since the very beginning of the show, and a lot of the community has too. But I'm bringing it up here because I think it links in an interesting way. The idea is that when they put on the headset, they are not transported into the game, but instead, a copy of their brain was taken and uploaded into the game. This concept was popularized, at least to me, by a little game called Soma. It starts off with this dude who has bad brain disorder or something, and he goes to the doctors to get a brain scan. But as soon as it happens, he's transported to this underwater facility in the future, or at least that's what appears to happen. And it's spoilers, by the way, if you're planning on playing Soma. This is like a 10-year-old game at this point. Because we follow the copy's POV, it seems like we're playing as the same person. But in reality, the one who got the brain scan popped the scanner on, got scanned, then took it off, and then continued on with his life. And I think that's exactly what happened with the people that got stuck in the digital circus. If they were really stuck in the VR, then how would multiple people get stuck in it? Because if one person put the headset on, then wouldn't the next person who came along see the body of the last person who put it on? Well, okay, then maybe it's an online game. But then, wouldn't their bodies in the real world get hungry? Thirsty? They die eventually, right? When Pomni was explaining how she got in here, she didn't mention anybody else being around. In fact, the opposite. She was exploring abandoned buildings. Okay, well then maybe after they put on the headset, they kidnapped them, put them in matrix tubes, and then they harvest their energy. And the building actually just seemed abandoned as a front. And they just also happened to leave the headset out in the open. And they also let Pomni walk all the way to the room to put on the headset. Yeah, it's like a trap, really effective trap. You see what's happening here? This is very convoluted and it doesn't make a lot of sense. In situations like these, I like to refer to Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is usually the correct one. They put on the headset, are copied and put into the game, and that's it. The real person maybe sees like a flash or something and then are confused when nothing happens. And what's left in the game are the copies, meaning there is no human actually playing these characters. They are literally NPCs, hyper-advanced AI meant to emulate the human they were copied from. Kane can't tell the difference between them and the AI he makes because there is no difference. Now, there was one more reason as to why I think Jack's an NPC that I left out, and it's his key gimmick.
These are all the keys I have where I don't know what they go to.
Gimmick where he just spontaneously has the key to wherever he wants to go. And I left this out until now because this gimmick seems metaphoric of his character as a whole. Jax is the key to everything. He is the one furthering the plot, opening these doors. And most importantly, he is the one who helped me cement this theory in my head, and the one that will probably open the door, so to speak, for all the rest of the cast to see what they truly are. While I was recording this video, I went back and I looked just how many times Jax is the one to open the door. He's the one who opened Kaufmo's door. He opened the door at the top of the van. He threw Gangel's mask down the scary door. He's the first one who peeked through the door to see what Gangel and Zubul were doing. He is the one who had a key to Zubul's room. And he is the one who opened the Chinese door. Every single time, at every integral pivoting moment, it is him setting them off in that direction. I had a key dynamic. Time to serve my purpose, I guess. This is something that has been hardwired into his being. This is what he's made for. Jax is the key to all of this. And Jax is an NPC. My bad for not getting the video out by the time I said I would. Honestly, I meant to and I was gonna, but then while I was working on this video, the next episode came out, and then like a lot of my video got kind of messed up because a lot of stuff was actually just either proven right or proven wrong, and it was just kind of, why am I even talking about this anymore? So it took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, and honestly, I feel like I got to a place where I like this video, but it was really rough making this, I'm gonna be honest. But I still wanted to follow through and make it anyway, because I do think this topic is interesting, and I think there's a lot of good points I make. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. I'm not making any promises this time, but it will be soon, okay? I promise that. I don't promise that. I promise it. No, I promise it. I promise it, guys. Bye.